90 days, you can be a completely different person than you are now. I've been able to make content, work out 3 times a week, walk every day, eat 5 servings of veggies a day, and pretty much do everything that I wanted to do while taking care of a 5-month-old baby using the framework that I'm going to share with you in this video. So there's this book called The 12-Week Year that is pretty much exactly what it says. It's when you take a whole year and you compress it into 12 weeks with each week equating a month. A lot of people tend to make goals in a year-long time span. A year is a long time where you can pretty much think that your future you, like the you a couple months from now, is going to take care of it. A year is a really long time where it doesn't exactly feel like there's pressure at all. However, 3 months or 90 days, you definitely can imagine 3 months from now, and you sort of have a flame lighting underneath your butt telling you to go get it. So essentially, you compress a year into 12 months. Each week is a month. It's basically achieving your goals faster and breaking it into much more achievable, productive chunks. So why 90 days? There is a common idea in business called the 90-day sprint. In business, they do it because each quarter of the year, a fiscal quarter, is about 3 months. You've got Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So for business, in 3 months, they can completely change their trajectory. So why not apply that same planning to self-improvement, to improving ourselves rather than improving a business? A good quote by Elon Musk is, "Stop being patient and start asking yourself, how do I accomplish my 10-year plan in 6 months?" Yeah, you might probably fail, but you'll be a lot farther ahead of the person who simply accepted it was going to take 10 years. So instead of waiting for somebody, aka you, to achieve your goal very, very slowly, compress that timeline, figure it out. It's going to be a very different path, but it's a lot faster. So here's where people go wrong though. When people usually do like a 90-day challenge, they try and change all of their habits at once. They try to eat healthier, wake up early, run in the morning, meditate, clean their house every day, stop eating junk food, work out, start a business, blah, blah, blah. And I've done that before. I've wanted to do everything, and it goes great for 1 to 3 days, and then you fall off, and then you fall off some more, and then suddenly you're not doing any of it anymore in like a week. Instead of having 5 goals or 10 goals, we're gonna focus on 1 goal every 90 days. If you wanna follow along with me, download the free Notion template that I've included down below. All you have to do is put in your email. It is completely free. It's got some kinks in it. If you do notice a bug, please email me or comment down below. But we're gonna look at the very top portion, which is creating a new 90-day sprint, and we're gonna look at the goal. So having only 1 goal lets you develop 4 habits a year, which compared to the person who quit, you're way ahead of them. And if they're keystone or cornerstone habits, which are habits that really cascade through every area of your life, I'll give you an example soon, then chances are your life is going to change a lot more than you think it will. We're going to treat these 90-day sprints as experiments that we use to really figure out what works for us. How do we improve ourselves the best that we can? You're probably watching a lot of self-improvement content. If you're starting a workout, you do a lot of research on like, what's the best workout plan? Will I gain the most muscle here? Will I lose the most weight doing this? Will I track calories, do keto, intermittent fasting, OMAD, whatever. There's a ton of different things on the internet. But if we're always doing research, then we're never taking action, and we're never really going to figure out what really works for us. Every individual is different, and it takes time really to commit to a diet for a long enough time to figure out whether it will or won't work for you. So no more researching. We're gonna do experiments instead. We've got to treat ourselves like scientists. To reach our goals, we have to think like a scientist and be curious and just explore and figure out if things work or not, rather than listening to other people. All right, so an example is to get healthier. You think walking every day for 30 minutes will make you healthier. So this is your first experiment. You choose a daily task that is putting on your shoes, and it takes less than 2 minutes, and you're gonna be able to build a consistent habit if you do this every single day. Why 2 minutes? Well, in Atomic Habits, the 2-minute rule states when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. The idea is to make it as easy to do as you possibly can to get started, and then you just have more momentum that you hope will carry you through to the entire task. So you hope that putting on your shoes, the act of putting on your shoes, will make you go outside and go on a walk for 30 minutes. The goal here is consistency, not necessarily intensity. Consistency is what turns average into extraordinary. If you walk for 30 minutes a day your entire life, you're gonna do a lot better than the person that runs 5 miles once a week on a Saturday. The goal is to build a foundation, gain momentum, gain consistency, and everything else will just follow. It'll work out. Now, because it's an experiment, after the 90 days, it might not work. It might not work. Figure out, and you'll reflect on it and figure out why didn't it work, what went wrong, what went really well, and what should the next experiment be. If we're going back to the health example, the next experiment could be tracking your calories, maybe keeping a food log, taking a picture of your meals. There's such a high likelihood that other areas of your life will improve as well. Let's go back to the walking example. If we're walking outside, we're out in nature, we're gonna be happier the rest of the day, we might have more energy, we might be nicer to other people. Maybe we're reading and we're listening to an audiobook, so we're learning something along the way, and that inspires us to start a new business. These are the effects of cornerstone habits. They cascade throughout our entire life. Some examples of cornerstone habits are physical activity, reading, journaling, and meditating. Let's go through the Notion template really quickly so you know exactly what to do. So when you open up the template, you're going to want to duplicate it by pressing duplicate in the top right corner. It'll look like 2 rectangles on top of each other, or it'll say duplicate, whether you're on the app or desktop or whatever. Then you get your own version that you can change as you wish. So at the top here, we have a record of all of our sprints. I recommend doing 1 at a time so that we don't get overwhelmed. If you find that you do 1 and it's super easy, next time you can try 2. That can be an experiment. If you can't do 2, then go back to 1. That's how experiments work. We try, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. So you can either press into the 90-day sprint that's there already, or you can press new to make another one. But we're gonna go into the one that's there already. We will change the start date to today, and the year is 2024. So the first one is, what is the goal of your 90-day sprint? We want just one overarching goal. My goal is to publish 2 times a week on YouTube for 90 days. That's about 24 videos in 90 days. The important bits are that you need to be the only one that can make sure that your goal happens. It needs to be in your control. It's not an outcome-based goal, it is an input-based goal where you're in control of the input. For example, my goal is not to get subscribers, not to get a ton of views, not to make money, not to do any of that, because none of that is in my control. What is in my control is my ability to make a video, to publish videos, to film them. And then the next part is, can you accomplish 10% of the goal in the first 10 days? We want to make this a reasonable goal. My goal is 24 videos in 90 days, then 10% would be about 2. Can I make 2 videos in the next 10 days? I say I can. So next, we want to figure out our why. When we have a goal, we need to ask ourselves why a couple times just to get to the deep reason of why we want it. For example, my fitness goal is to work out 3 times a week because I want to be fit, because I want to be able to hold my kids and play with them and have a good time with them so that we can create long-lasting memories. Your why is going to get you through some of those hard times where you just don't feel like doing it. Next, we want to establish some ground rules. So we need rules so that we don't end up getting in our way, because sometimes we want to change our mind. Sometimes we want to move the goalpost. Sometimes we want to change the goal. Sometimes we want to make it harder. So you want to establish your rules. I put 3. You can add as many rules as you want. Next, what is a daily task that you can commit to every day to make progress on your goal? You have to show up every single day because consistency matters. You want this to be easy, to be simple, to take less than 2 minutes. Ideally, it would be the thing that makes everything else just fall into place and happen. So you can modify this daily task here to track your progress, and it'll auto-create the daily task every single day. And make sure that you know exactly how you will remind yourself to show up, and maybe an alarm, maybe a calendar, maybe you open up Notion every day already because it's something that you do. Next is to establish an implementation intention. When and where will you do your daily tasks? People who plan in advance for these types of details are more likely to actually do it. So for example, for me, it is after the baby goes to sleep, I turn on my PC. And then what exactly are you testing? For me, with YouTube, I am testing the ability to build an audience by having a higher than regular upload frequency that I would choose. And of course, we have the reflection after the 90 days is done. How did your experiment go? What areas of life did this affect? It could be anything. If you did go on a walk, like, did you feel more tired? Did you feel more energized? Did you eat healthier? Did you eat worse? Did you buy more clothes or did you not? Anything could go there. And then what are some ideas for your next 90-day experiments? Next is the daily task table, which is a tracker. It will create a new task every day, and then all you have to do is show up, complete it, and then open it and answer the question, how did today go? And your completed task will disappear after a week, and then the next week a new list will appear, and that is it. It's very simple. This is like version 1 of the template. If you have any more cool ideas on what to do with it, I hope you tell me. But if not, I'll modify it to suit my needs, achieve my goals, and I hope that you achieve your goals as well. Momentum and consistency will make you extraordinary.